So for those who maybe haven't joined us before, the Kīpuka Innovation Competition is an innovation grant program for Hawaiʻi students who have ideas and visions for place-based solutions to local challenges. So any idea that they had to improve their community in Hawaii. So the judging criteria as folks applied were that their ideas were rooted in place, so they're place-based specifically here in Hawaii, that they had a positive impact on the communities that they operate within, that the team behind the project is passionate and enthusiastic about their idea, that their ideas are bold and creative and innovative, really, and finally, that they apply one or more of the different disciplines of STEM, so science, technology, engineering, or math. And for a quick program overview of what has occurred over the past year. So first, the students were asked to submit a video as well as a proposed budget, kind of outlining the different items that they needed funding for. Then the winners were chosen based on the previous criteria that I listed, and they were selected to receive grant funding of up to $2,000. And this year we were able to impact 3 different youth teams, specifically thanks to the generous donations of some of our different donors and funders, as well as our partnership with STEMworks. And during the implementation phase, which was from August to December, roughly, the 3 different teams were able to submit funding requests to make purchases as needed, and then implement different phases of their project, and then report on those major milestones. And then that brings us to today, which is our sort of mini Hōʻike, a final reflection and showcase of learning. So a little bit about Purple Mai'a. The Kīpuka is a joint partnership between Purple Mai'a and STEMworks. For those of you who maybe don't know much about Purple Mai'a, we are on a mission to inspire and educate the next generation of culturally grounded community serving technology makers. And we serve sort of 3 different segments, from youth to community members, and all the way to local startups who are based in Hawaii, companies that want to grow quickly. And so Kīpuka kind of falls within that OPO category, looking to serve Hawaii-based youth and help build the competencies of STEM and entrepreneurship, innovation, and community impact. I'll let Katie share a little bit about STEMworks.
Thanks, Jack. So happy to see you all. And I just want to say, before I share about STEMworks, I'm so excited to see your project and to get updates from you all today on what you were able to achieve. So STEMworks, we are a statewide STEM education and workforce development program run out of the Maui Economic Development Board. Our tagline is download knowledge and upload service, because that's really what we stand for. We provide teachers and students with STEM tools and knowledge and curriculum and lessons and internship experiences for the purpose of serving their community. So we're really happy to have the 2nd year partnership with Purple Mai'a to bring this opportunity to each of you to be able to use them to serve your communities.
Thanks, Katie. So that brings us to the meat and potatoes of what today is about. You can stop listening to my voice and listen to the voices that matter as our teams present. So teams will have up to 10 minutes. They don't have to use that full time. And they'll be presenting, introducing themselves and their team and sharing their initial vision that they came into this project with, share some of their accomplishments that they've been able to achieve along the way, share some of the key learnings that came out of this process, and then share any future plans that they might have should they want to continue with their project going forward. And then after each presentation, we'll have about 2 minutes for Q&A. That can come from anybody in the audience, so feel free to unmute at that time or share any questions you might have in chat along the way. Okay. Well, let's get started. We're going to have our first team present, and that will be Hawaii Ka'io. And we invite you to share any sort of visuals that you have, screen share, and take it away.
Hi, my name is Christian. I'm a freshman at the University of Hawaii at Manoa.
Hi, my name is James, and I'm a senior at Moanua High School.
We are Team Hawaii Cat.io, and we are aspiring STEM students who are all originally from Moanua High School, who care deeply about Hawaii's ʻāina and are looking to apply the skills and knowledge that we've learned in our school to help our community.
Before we entered our project, or before entering Kīpuka, our project, the Kit Catio started out with the STEMworks Catio Hackathon. We designed it to be modular, affordable, and easy to set up. The Catio can be set up in 15 minutes with no tools whatsoever. This is made possible because all the floor pieces, wall pieces, roof pieces, and attachments are shipped pre-built. All you have to do would be to assemble them into the configuration you want. Currently, the cost of materials for a Catio is around $200 to $250. But with more research and traction, we could partner up with local wholesalers, and we estimate that we can bring down the cost to around $150 or less.
Since the start of Kīpuka, we have focused working on the business and marketing side of our project. Originally, when we had begun the Catio project, it was mainly focused on designing and prototyping a tangible model that could be tested. With the funding from Kīpuka, we were able to gain access to more materials and tools to prototype another Catio and work on the website for business and marketing. However, due to some logistical and timing errors, we were unable to complete the second prototype completely, and a more refined prototype that we can trial with real cats. So instead, we focused more on designing the website and doing more marketing things. The website will be used as a platform in order to advertise and sell Catios to cat owners in the islands. And additionally, it's used to spread the message, and our mission for the project was to reduce the roaming cat population in Hawaii, which in turn would decrease the chances of fecal-borne diseases being spread into the fragile native ecosystem, such as the Toxoplasma gondii, which is reducing our endangered monk seal population.
After the fall break, we actually decided to place the project on hiatus. Gordon and I are co-presidents of our school's robotics team, and we decided to enter into Kīpuka and forward this project because we were uncertain on whether or not there would be VEX or first robotics competition this season due to COVID-19. With VEX competitions on Oahu back on full swing, we can now expect to also have a first robotics season coming up next year during spring. At least until the summer, we do not expect to have the time to commit to forwarding this project as a startup. We will, however, try to get the second prototype done either by this winter break or during the spring break. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, James and Christian. Appreciate you sharing your team's progress. I want to open up the time now for any Q&A that anyone might have. Feel free again to put it in the chat or unmute and ask yourself.
James and Christian, I want to say great job. It's been really nice to watch this project evolve over time. As you mentioned, it started with a hackathon that was brought to us by NOAA and the Hawaiian Humane Society. I'm just curious if over this period of Kīpuka, you've continued to talk with NOAA and the Humane Society about your design or about public outreach?
So during this time period, we did talk with Celeste and Angela from NOAA Fisheries and the Humane Society. And they discussed like certain other ways we could like try and organize like research opportunities with like actual cats or like cat owners or like marketing research. But that's like the main things we talked about.
So any vision for, so it seems like for you guys, this was a little bit of a replacement for robotics, but robotics is coming back into your life. And we don't want to see your project just disappear. So any idea for maybe passing it on to another high school student or maybe passing it on to STEMworks that we could give it to another team to continue?
Yeah. There's some like underclassmen that might be able to continue the project at our school. And then we were planning to continue it just enough so like we could get some more concrete stuff done.
Fantastic. And I'm here to help. If you would like to see this live on, potentially get into the lives of cat owners or one of your models of the catio at the Humane Society, happy to help continue to coach you on that and try to continue the life of this project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work.
Is it okay if I ask a question, Jack? Okay, cool. Hey guys, great job. That was a fun presentation, and you guys did a really good job on the website. I thought it was really cool that you were able to stand that up over the last few months. Question that I have for you guys is, what have you learned during the last few months, and how are you going to take what you learned into your kind of next steps in your either college career or your professional outlook?
So during our past few months when we did this project, we learned how to apply the practical side of engineering, right? We learned in the classrooms what to do, and we basically got a chance to apply that. We also learned how to what is it called? We learned how to market, we learned how to do some web design, and then we also did some cost analysis to see what would work. And yeah, it's a lot of practical abilities that we can apply into later projects and stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, James. Does anyone else from the team want to answer?
So also one of the key learnings from this project was getting more experience in working with a team with varying and diverse ideas. So if there's always if there's a conflict of what we wanted to do to push forward, you always have to come to a compromise in order to reach a common consensus in order to get any real progress done. So that's good to have experience doing that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your questions, Katie and Alec. I think we've run out of time for Q&A. But again, congratulations, Hawaii Catio, on all of your progress and on your presentation today. We really appreciate it. So I believe our next team is going to be Team Hua Ulu ʻāina. Thank you for joining us today, folks, and you can go ahead and take the stage.
So aloha everyone, okwau o Lilia i o Guerrero no kahalu'u ko'olau poko o Ahumayel. Aia au I ka papa umi I ke kula o Samuel Manaya Kalani Kamakau. Aloha everyone, my name is Lilia Iokepa Guerrero. I am from Kahalu'u o Ahu, and I'm a sophomore at ke kula o Samuel Manaya Kalani Kamakau.
Aloha kako. My name is Maui Iokepa Guerrero. I'm a senior at St. Louis High School.
Oh, sorry, there you go.
And we are Team Hua Ulu ʻāina, or Hua for short. Our product that we will be presenting is ahu pua'a.
Okay.
Okay. So at Hua Ulu ʻāina, our mission is to educate the world about Hawaii, its people, its land, and its culture through innovative and educational products. In this ahu pua'a project, we propose to educate and encourage Native Hawaiians to ho'i kapiko, return to the source in the way our kupuna lived in connection with the land. Ahu pua'a is a game that we believe can change our Hawaii community and environment and the world.
So starting off, some things that we have done throughout this time of the Kīpuka Challenge. We have actually gotten in touch with our uncle, Anakala George, who is a artist as well, and he helped us create these beautiful drawings, draftings of drawings for our storyboard. And it kind of shows a story. It's like a story in drawing. It's really cool. And then we have also done research and data collection. I have done some work in Procreate or Adobe Photoshop, and learning how to turn images into drawings to try to figure out if we're able to put that into our game. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Is this next one? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
your turn.
So assets and game development, we worked a lot in Unity, and a lot of our stuff, or actually the entire game, is based off of Unity. So we used our technology and minds to kind of work in Unity and figure out how it works. But we also incorporated the help of Kumudan from Purple Maya, as well as Serial with David and Nina, which is another nonprofit that is creating a game of their own to kind of help us and guide us through this process. So these are a few of the things that we have in our game currently. So we have pigs and chickens and some coconut trees. But we're still in the process of creating the game and actually making it better. But as of for this project, we were hoping and creating a trailer video that we can use to inspire and encourage other developers that are probably more advanced in using Unity to kind of hop on board and maybe help us out as well.
Okay, we've also created a website, Hua Ulu ʻāina website. This is what it looks like at the beginning when you first open it. And then when you scroll down a bit, you can see our progress that we have had in Unity, and then also the logo Ahupua.
And we would like to mahalo Kumudan and Serial and Nina and David, as well as our Anakala, who helped us out throughout our journey. We'd also like to mahalo Purple Maya, STEM Works, and the Kīpuka Project.
And then lastly is our trailer video. So I'm not sure how to change the music yet. So it's a bit like dramatic music, but I think it kind of matches well with what we're going for and with our video. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So we created a trailer video, and then I apologize if it was a bit too fast on the words, or if you weren't fully able to fully read it. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out as well. And then something I have learned, as I said, I've learned how to work more with technology. Oh, sorry. I've learned how to work more with technology and getting more familiar with technology. So learning how to, as I said, create images or turn them into drawings. I'm still trying to figure out how to add them into Unity though, but I'm one step closer to figuring that out. And then I have also learned a bit about Unity and how to work in Unity because of overhearing Maui and Dave talk about Unity as well.
I learned a lot over this past 6 months, maybe 4 months, something like that. But I learned a lot, especially in Unity. I mean, for one, I learned how difficult it could be, especially when you have to go back and kind of revise and then put back the coding in, etc. But thankful that I had Kumu Dan and Dave helping me along the way. Such a good help. Yeah, so I learned a lot on Unity, but also a lot of those pictures of like the areas like the lo'i and the hale that we got were from a place that I'm working at or interning at. So I'm fortunate that I could actually take those pictures, but being there and working in that system, I was able to learn a lot about how it works and how we could probably or possibly incorporate that into our game, because now I know firsthand how the lo'i system works, how we grow kalo, how we build a hale, and you know, it just makes that experience in the game more realistic and more real and cultural, I'd like to say. So mahalo. Questions? Any questions?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. That was really impressive work. Really well done. It's so awesome to see how much progress you've made since even the last time we checked in. And I apologize for the dog barking in the background. Yeah, I have a ton of questions, but I want to save time for other folks. But I would love to know specifically how you plan to use that trailer video. I thought that was really great. You know, you really pulled together kind of the different components of your process and, you know, teased what this game could look like. You know, what are your future plans for this project, and how do you hope the trailer and the work you've done so far will impact that?
Definitely we plan on expanding and making the game better over time, but using that trailer video, I mean, we're trying to advertise that more and kind of spread the word more. So that way, hopefully we could pick up some people, possibly on social media, if we can share it on social media, or even adding it to our website that we have. So that way we can get that out there to incorporate more help on this project. But definitely looking forward to making this project bigger and forwarding ourselves in that.
Thanks for your response. Any other questions?
Yeah, I want to say a few things. So I love beautiful lessons learned, and I love that you took the trailer approach and you recognize through this process that it's going to take a team. Most video game designs, like even like really short video games, you're going to see like a long list of people that are involved, and a long list of people that are involved that have like really specialized skills. Like someone might draw the asset, someone's going to animate it, someone does the sound and the music, somebody does the coding. So there's so many different people involved in a video game. So I love that you got to explore that and that you recognized, okay, we're gonna maybe need some help, and so let's advertise it. I have one comment and then one question. So one comment, if you do want to continue, there is a professor at UH, his name is Jason Lee, and he teaches a video game design class. So you might want to pitch it. The students in that class have to work on a video game, and a lot of them are programmers. So you might want to pitch your idea to those students and maybe work with other young people like yourself to bring it to life. I think it's happening in the spring, but I'll double check for you. And then a question I have for you is, did anything surprise you in this learning process?
For me, there was one thing that really surprised me. Well, actually, there was a couple. And one thing is how much we have gotten done throughout this time with switching our vision or what we actually wanted in the beginning. Because I noticed that we started off with a different goal than what we had later on. So it amazes me how much we have gotten done at the end of this challenge. It also amazes me to how much I have learned throughout this whole challenge and how much I can take away from this challenge and use it in the future to expand on this project and other projects.
Definitely.
All right, I think we have time for maybe one more question.
I think Alec asked us a question in the chat. So.
Yes.
But if anybody else has other questions, have them go before me. I've already asked one.
Yeah, I guess we can go with Alex's question. Are there any specific milestones that you have over the next 3 to 6 months that you would love to accomplish? Any concrete goals?
I would like to, like coming from the game perspective and Unity side, I would like to possibly add more assets in there and find more assets. I mean, the assets that we have right now currently in the game are, just the free ones that you can get off of the Unity asset store. But also maybe try to start 3D modeling and creating assets that are more towards the realistic side or what we imagine. So that way we can keep the game as authentic as possible. But yeah, as of now, that's what I see myself doing on the game side, and maybe even getting more images or pictures and kind of editing them in Adobe, so that way we can see how we would like to sculpt our 3D modeling.
Yeah, for me, although I've learned a lot through this Kīpuka challenge, I still want to expand my knowledge on like Unity stuff, because I feel like it would help out as well in the future. But I also want to learn more about technology, and as I said earlier, learning how to change those pictures that are being taken and like figuring out how to add it into Unity, so it might be a bit easier for both of us. I think that's a cool thing if we figure out how to do that in the end. And I also would want to work more in the ʻāina with Maui. I've noticed that because of COVID, we're not allowed to get out more and work more in the ʻāinas, but that's something that I would want to start doing again, is to just get in the ʻāina and to expand my knowledge there as well.
Yeah, and hopefully we're able to get that video out, that trailer video, and get more collaborators.
Yes.
And more people on the project.
That's really, those are all really great milestones. And the reason why I ask between 3 and 6 months is because that's about the right amount of time at the stage that you guys are at to be planning, but you want to write those milestones down and kind of try to keep yourselves accountable to those. In Kīpuka, we gave you guys a forcing function, and that forcing function was, over the next few months, you're going to present this thing back. And those forcing functions, we use a lot in the startup world, because it gives you a target and it helps you to hold yourselves or each other accountable. So I would put those things on paper, put a date down for when you want to have those things ready to go. And if you want, you could even reach back out to me or Jack or Katie to talk through like where things are at in that sort of process. But I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff in your guys' game and your process, and if nothing else, it's a great learning journey. But force yourselves and push yourselves to continue to explore where this game can take you, because you never know. It may be the game, but it could be something entirely different. But this was really exciting. Great job.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
All right, thank you so much, Maui and Lilia. Really amazing work. We're going to move on now to our third team, and that is going to be Laulima Project. Go ahead and take it away, folks.
Okay, hi everyone. We are the Laulima Project. I'm Elena and I'm a senior at Punahou.
I'm Alyssa and I'm also a senior.
And I'm Felicity and I am a junior. I'm a junior at Punahou. So our vision was to provide the children of Hawaii with opportunities to explore STEM, because Hawaii is a bit lacking in STEM opportunities. And we want to do this by introducing them to robotics. Our team is actually an all-girls robotics team, and robotics has played a pretty important role in our lives, and we recognize the importance of it. So we want to share its benefits with others.
With the help of the Kīpuka Award and Purple Maya, we were able to hold a 6-week robotics course for 2 hours a session on Friday afternoons. In this course, we had so much fun teaching the students about the mechanics of building and how to code in Java. Additionally, we held a shortened Tech Tuesday version of the class on November 22nd that dipped into some of the same material.
Before each like workshop that we would do, we do an extensive lesson plans that consisted of like an introduction and then what the main thing that we were doing each day, and then whatever we did at the end. So this involved a lot of time and thinking ahead. Is this what the students are going to do, and is this what they're going to want? So we always made sure that we had something beforehand to prep.
At the end of every class, we also had surveys we had the students fill out. We wanted to see how well they were enjoying the class, if their interest in STEM and robotics was increasing. So here you can see, I'm terrible, sorry, apologies. But anyways, at the end of every class, we had a survey, and on the screen, you can see an example of that right now, where we would gauge progress and interest. And for example, like one response we got was that someone really liked the robotics class and was excited to continue attending the workshops and to learn more.
So we learned a lot during this experience. Probably the most prominent is how expensive robotics is. We're fortunate for the majority of our time in robotics. It was provided by the school or a coach. So when we tried to offer this to others and the Kīpuka budget, we're like, whoa, like in order to just get 2 functioning robots with like the basic control hub, wheels, whatever you need, we had to go, well, we went over budget. So we had to borrow a lot of our coach's materials. So it really showed us how appreciative and grateful we are that not only do we have our school, but that we can provide this to others with this grant. So it also shows the importance of how this needs to be free and accessible to other students, because we basically only have this opportunity because we go to a private school. Next, lesson plans are really hard. Props to all those teachers out there who can prep every single day for 20 students, because I think for us, it was even for students who, were getting out there for robotics, it was hard to keep them engaged. I feel like after like an hour or so, they're like, okay, what's next? And we're like, oh, you have to keep going, you have to keep trying. And they're like, but it's not working. So, as a team, we kind of learn like patience and, how much it is to prep. Be like, by Friday, are they going to be able to accomplish this in 2 hours? Or do we need to give them more time or less time? And also just prepping, just not even just showing up to the class, but it takes a lot of time in general. So before each class, we would have at least 2 hours to prep. So being like seniors for us, I think it was a little hard with time management, especially with like college apps. So overall, we just learned that flexibility is really important. Flexibility with each other. We're lucky to have a pretty big team. So if one person's like, oh, I have a big math test tomorrow, we were always able to, step in, and just flexibility with the classes. If one day we thought they were going to build their motors and their wheels and they wanted to do the shooter, we're like, okay, we'll just plan in advance and you can just do that. So we did learn a lot of things being teachers and planning this course.
In the future, we plan to hold another Tech Tuesday workshop at Purple Maya on February 22nd. And we are looking forward to holding even more workshops in the next semester and through this summer. Additionally, we are looking into different funding options so that we can provide more materials and resources to accommodate for more students. Through our 2 workshop sessions, we were able to teach 8 students in total, but we hope to impact even more students in the future. Thank you.
Really awesome job, team. Super impressive work. Thank you for sharing. I want to open up this time in case anyone else has questions. If not, I have a few of my own. Okay, I'll go ahead and start. I thought, well, I have two comments and a question. First, I thought that these were some really good insights that you had, the learnings that you shared just on, price and flexibility and all these things. But I thought it was a really important aspect to consider, how pricing affects access within communities. It's really cool that, that kind of bubbled up for you folks organically. And it's something that's important to consider when we're designing solutions, because access is really important. If we're only ever designing for folks who are maybe of a certain socioeconomic status, then you're really neglecting a major portion of the population. And so that was really cool to see. And then I also thought it was awesome that you collected tangible data about, you know, how impactful or how interesting, or even the learnings of your students through surveys. You know, that's really important data, and that can help inform how you iterate on the design of your process and your classes going forward. And so with that in mind, I have one question of how would you use these insights to improve your project in the future, just based on, you know, that the survey data as well as your own observations?
Okay, well, for the feedback one, we actually did for the 6-week workshop, we got a lot of feedback. Like, I really liked coding, but we did notice that it was a little hard for them. And then, so maybe in future, like extended periods of workshops, I was thinking maybe we could try to focus more intently on coding, but like at a slower pace. So they're still getting the same amount of learning, but you know, it's easier for them because I think that's what stressed them out a lot. So it's definitely like nice to have those. And I think we can be pretty flexible with the feedback that we get because the classes are for them, not for us. Going forward with like the funding, I'm not really sure like what we can do. I mean, I think maybe if like just reflecting back, I wish at the time that we had like stepped out of our like bubble that I think we were in and being like, because I think we were what we expected to do, we were dealing with people that we didn't relate to, not that we didn't relate to, but there was kind of like a disconnect, like we didn't realize how much it costs. That's on us. So I think maybe just for all teams and going forward, whoever we're helping, maybe whether that be like middle schoolers, because that was also a bit of a gap, or you know, people of a different socioeconomic class, stepping what they know and then relating that to us, and then using our funding in a good way that like more on what they know. So using that feedback to how we could better use the funding better. Sorry, that didn't really make sense.
Adding on a little bit, oh, apologies.
Go ahead, sorry, I was just thanking Elena for her response.
Okay, adding on a little bit to what Elena said, I feel that it was important next time that we start from the basics again, because we saw that the students had a little bit of trouble even learning to use the wrenches when we started building, which was something that we didn't initially anticipate. So I feel that in the future, we should make sure that we acknowledge their starting point, like Elena said, and kind of build from there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your responses. Any other questions?
Just one. Can you guys tell us about the students? What were they like?
So basically they were all Purple Maya students. They were all kind of different and we all like distinctly remember their personalities. So they were all middle schoolers, or there was one 5th grader. So first off, that was a little weird to deal with. I'm like, oh, I forgot you like didn't have high school and you're like in your teenage puberty years. Like I forgot you like make jokes about what teenage boys make. That was a little interesting. They're really well, they have a lot of character. Like one of them really liked Marvel. So each time we're like, oh, are you ready for the Spider-Man No Way Home coming out? He's like, yeah. And we're like, did you see Endgame? He's like, yeah. Okay, so that was basically the way we just had to figure out what they liked. And then we got into it. And then some of them are shy. So that was a little bit like, not off-putting, but it was different for us because I think as a teacher, and then if you're dealing with a shy student, you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. So they were all like really into learning. They were all really respectful and kind. They're really great students to have. I mean, I think we're just really lucky to have really great students, and I would love to have them as students again. So
just wanted to add on to that a bit. While we were teaching them, it was usually like 1 or 2 people assigned to a few students. So because of that, we were able to better connect with them because it was usually the same people interacting with them, which made it easier to connect with and teach with them. like I remember talking with a kid who really liked Minecraft, and then we were talking about the controller and how that was used to control the robot. And I brought up coordinates, and he was like, "Oh, like coordinates in Minecraft?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then that, I think, really helped his understanding of using the controller and how that moved the robot.
I just want to say I'm so inspired by your empathy and just the maturity of your insight that you've gained through working with these students. Your empathy both for the learner, for the teacher, and seeing the struggles on both sides and what needs to be overcome. I will say as a teacher, it's always a little bit easier the second, third, fourth time you teach a class. You start to learn to anticipate those things a little bit more. You start to see what it is that they're going to ask, what they're going to struggle with. So you have better ability to anticipate in the future. So I do really hope that you'll continue to do this. If we at STEMworks can help you with funds, if you'd like to go for another round, please reach out. We'll see what we can do to make sure that we have more and more students learning about robotics. I am curious, what does the robot do? Like, can you just drive it around? What's like the ultimate purpose of what the robot will achieve?
So there were two ways of controlling the robot in a way. There's one where you can control it with the controller, and the second is autonomous, where you just give it pre-programmed instruction and it just follows that. So the pre-program, but like for both, you can move the robot, you can have it also like launch a ring. So we had like a wheel, and basically you just put a ring on it, the wheel would move, and it just kind of like launched the ring somewhere. And we kind of built a bit of an obstacle course around moving the robot and launching the ring at the target.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, team. Great job on your progress throughout the whole Kīpuka competition, as well as your presentation today. It was really well done. So that brings us to the end of the main programming that we had today. I just want to say a big, huge mahalo to the students first and foremost for taking the step to go through a pretty rigorous application process, and then over the past 4 months, putting in a ton of hard work and heart and vision into your projects, and then all of the hard work that you did to prepare for today's presentations. And so big, huge mahalo to all of you. I also want to give a big mahalo to our donors. We had some key donors this year that were able to allow us to expand access to 3 teams. And so big, huge mahalo to them. And a big mahalo to STEMworks. This is our 2nd year partnering. And so, we have had a great time working with you folks 2 years in a row. It's been a great partnership, and yeah, hopefully we can continue doing this in the future. Do you want to say anything, Katie?
I do. A big shout out to you, Jack, for taking on so much of the work and the lead. Jack I feel like I've been in the background. I'm a cheerleader, happy to help support however we can, but Jack has really organized and put this together and done a lot of the heavy lifting to make this happen for you all. So big round of applause for Jack, and also for Alec for all of his insight and wisdom and resources that he's been able to share through this process, and to you, because wow, it's just been a crazy 2 years, and with the pandemic, and that you have gone beyond just your schoolwork. You've gone beyond to take on this extra work purely out of a place of passion and interest. And so I'm so proud of you. Regardless what you do in the future, I'm here for you. If I can ever help you from STEMworks, please reach out, and I wish you all much success in your futures.
Thanks, Katie. Really appreciate the kind words. And we will be sending out to each team a virtual badge that you can put on your resume or on your LinkedIn, as well as a certificate of completion. So just be on the lookout for that in your emails. And then that Discord will be open as well if you want to continue asking me or Katie any questions or networking with other students in there. And again, we're always open as resources. Both STEMworks and Purple Mai'a are youth serving organizations. And so, we want to be here to help you along the way. And, we also have programs that support adults as well, and startups and companies. And so we want to make sure that you feel welcome to stay within the ecosystem and, staying here and creating other amazing innovations and companies and impact here in Hawaii. So, at any stage of your journey, please feel free to reach out should you need any additional help or connections. We're well connected and we know a lot of other community members. So anything that we can help you with, please feel free to reach out. And big mahalo to those who joined us today, to watch and support the teams. And, this will be recorded and posted elsewhere. So if, any of the teams, if you want to share your presentation today with anybody else, just reach out to us and we'd be happy to provide just the, portion of your presentation as well.